Okay. This is my first time, so hopefully I don't mess this up, but sure. Right now.
Sounds good. We can see it's getting recorded now. All good. Did we hear that we are good to get started?
I think Robert Camp and Sperlin are still signing in. I don't see their audio just yet.
Okay. No.
And then before we start, I'll just do a quick little housekeeping note. So,
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. This is Sperlin. I apologize. I'm running a little late, but hopefully I didn't.
no, all good, Sperlin.
Okay.
So, do we also have Robert Camp? I think your audio is on now, right?
Correct, I'm on now.
Okay, all right. So great, we have everybody on the line, so I'll kick things off formally. So again, thank you for joining me here today. Today is a demonstration of PeopleSoft Benefits Admin. We'll do a quick round of introductions, and I'll let the Kansas City people go first, and then we'll go on to Spear MC. But just to kick things off, my name is Alan Gladney, and I am part of your on-prem applications team. I'm your account manager for PeopleSoft or anything on-prem related. And my scope includes Kansas, the rest of the Rockies, LA County, and Hawaii. Been here with Oracle for about 5 years. And today, as I mentioned, we have Sphere MC providing the demo. They have graciously decided to step in to provide demo services, and I'll turn things over to them in just a second. But first, I just want to get a brief round of introductions from the people at Kansas City Board of Public Utilities. And if you could, please mute yourself once we actually start the demo, just so that we don't have any interference from anybody. And you can unmute yourself anytime. So thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Andrea Cunningham. I'm the Benefits and Compensation Specialist here at BPU, and I have worked with the Ben admin process before, so just trying to see if we can, use this with our base benefits that we have here. So hopefully this will give the rest of the team some insight, and especially for those who haven't seen the process before.
Thanks, Andrea.
Hi, this is Krishna Karcheti. We met before, but for the group, I'm the ERP application architect working on the PeopleSoft and Oracle side of things. So.
Thanks, Krishna. I think we have a few more folks.
This is Sperlin Byers. I'm the acting director for our IT department, application development, and appreciate your help, Alan, in putting this together.
This is Rob Camp. I'm the project manager for BPU IT.
Thanks, Rob.
This is Diane Hudson-Hoke. I am the acting supervisor of application development.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. This is Vamsi Krishna. I do the ERP application support. Thank you.
Thanks, Vamsi. I think that's all we have on the Kansas City side, right? See Helen Clark or H. Clark, who's not yet on the audio. Did we miss anyone?
Yeah, this is Harold.
Oh, Harold. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
Harold,
we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. System analyst program for BPU.
Thanks, Harold. All right, on the Spear MC side, I'll get started. My name is Logesh Balasubramaniam. I'm the managing director, primarily foreseeing all our PeopleSoft HR and technology related activities. And I have been working with Alan, and a couple of months ago now, I think in late August, we had a sort of a discovery call with the Kansas City team to understand your current utilization, what versions you were in, and what are your expectations on the benefits admin product, and we provided an implementation estimate as well for budgeting purposes. So this is our second meeting and primarily focused on the demo of the amendment module and product. And as Andrea mentioned before, since you're already using base benefits, we want to heavily focus on the benefits administration and automation side of things. Today, along with me, I have Marcus Puri, who is our president and founder of PRMC, joining this call, and also Raghunath Vangati, who is our Ben admin specialist, who will be running this demo. And I will join towards at the end, also talking about the implementation process. But for most of the session today, it will be Raghunath who will be running this demo activity. With that, I will hand it over to Raghu to get started with the demo and with a brief introduction. Raghu, please proceed.
Yeah, thanks, Logesh. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, Raghu, we can.
Okay, thank you. So this is Raghu, and I have been in PeopleSoft for about 15 years now, predominantly working in PeopleSoft benefits and Ben admin area. I have implemented several benefits module projects, right from small scale clients to, huge clients with 200,000 employees as well. So I have got very, very good experience, implementing benefits administration PeopleSoft system. Yeah, so that's pretty much about me, and let's get started with the demo if everybody is okay with that right now.
Yep.
All right. So the agenda and the way that we are going to go about this demo is I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the benefits administration system highlights in PeopleSoft. And then I'm going to talk about how the benefits administration process works within PeopleSoft, meaning what are the steps that are involved and how the Ben admin processes the transactions. This image actually demonstrates that. I'm going to talk about that. And then this slide basically talks about what are the events that we are going to see in our demo today. So I'm going to process a new hire, a life event, open enrollment event, and if time permits, we can go through the job data changes and a couple of termination events as well. And then Logesh is going to chip in for the last part of the presentation to talk about implementation accelerators. All right. So going back to this benefits administration highlights in PeopleSoft, you currently have base benefits implemented. So you have the basic structure already in place, but you are basically enrolling the employees manually every time when someone gets hired or someone makes a change, for example, a life event, and open enrollment changes also being handled manually, right? So all of those can be automated using benefits administration system by automating the benefit programs. What that means is basically PeopleSoft delivers some rules that we call them eligibility rules and event rules. They will be coupled with our benefit programs, and when the process is run, basically Ben admin system is going to validate those rules against those benefit programs for the employees that we are running the process for. And based on their job data attributes and the eligibility that we have set up, it is going to assign those benefit programs, excuse me, and offer those benefit plans to the employees. All right. So the manage eligibility and event requirements can be set up through eligibility rules and event rules that is delivered in PeopleSoft. What this basically does for us, the eligibility and event rules, it basically controls who gets what type of benefits and what event is going to, for example, a new hire event is supposed to open up all the benefits for the employees. And maybe when you talk about a data change, a simple data change, or could be a miscellaneous data change, you don't want that to show the event available for the employees to make any changes. And when it comes to open enrollment, you want to only give access to certain benefits, not all of them. So all these can be controlled and configured within the benefits administration system using event rules. And eligibility rules are going to define our benefits eligibility for each of the population. If you have different groups, which I think when we talked about it last time, you don't have multiple groups, but I think you have a couple of groups we discussed. So those eligibilities can be configured using the eligibility. I'm sorry about that. And then establish validations and plan types. So when we come to any cross-plan validations or dependent rules, for example, if a dependent is about 26 years of age and you don't want to have them enrolled in the benefits anymore. So that can be set up in the benefits administration system, which is going to drop that dependent automatically when the dependent gets to that particular age. And the business requirement could be in such a way that a cross plan, meaning many clients that I have worked with, they say in order for the employee to have a dependent life insurance, they are supposed to have optional life insurance for the employee. So these cross plans right now, probably you are doing it manually every time when you see somebody is enrolling into the dependent life. But going forward, you don't need to do that. All those can be automated within the PeopleSoft. And when it comes to evidence of insurability, when employee enrolls in optional life insurance, you want the employees to go up only certain number of levels. Meaning if the employee is enrolled in one-time life insurance and you don't want them to elect four-time life insurance directly without providing the evidence of insurability. So these rules can be configured within the PeopleSoft benefits administration system. And leave of absences, if you want to, let's say if someone goes on the leave of absence and if you want to control enrollments based on their type of leave of absence, all those can be configured within the PeopleSoft system. So you may have number of tasks right now because you are using the base benefit system, you may be processing them manually, but there is a chance that you may be missing out on some of the corrections because every time when there is a change in the eligibility or anything, you may be going into the base benefits and updating it. And maybe the eligibility is calculated manually, maybe using the spreadsheets or something, right? So all those can be automated and controlled by BenAdmin. And so manage enrollment, manage employee enrollment is something that I was talking about the event rules earlier. Offering the benefit plans. For example, new hire has to open pretty much all the benefits and all the options have to be offered to the employee. And life event, when it comes to life event, you don't want to open all the plans because the employee already had made elections and you only want to open up certain plans based on what type of life event the person is accessing. So all those can be configured within the benefits administration system in PeopleSoft. All right. And then process open enrollment and ongoing event maintenance. You can schedule the open enrollment events when the window comes closer. During the open enrollment window, employees can go online and make elections. During that phase also, the regular ongoing event maintenance is not going to be disturbed. So if there is a new hire, they will be able to go online and make elections without having any trouble. And the open enrollment continues for the remaining populations without any problems. Okay, so all these can be configured and we can manage that without, seamlessly. E-benefits process enrollments and life events. So the e-benefit system is closely coupled with benefits administration. There are a number of controls that were given on the 9.92 BenAdmin system now. which helps us control the e-benefits text and what plans we want to show, what plans we want to hide. Maybe some of them can be only seen, but not, we don't want them to update. We don't want the employees to update. So all those e-benefits processing can be controlled from the benefits administration on the e-benefit side. And the life events, when it comes to the life events in the past, when you go back maybe 9.1 and early stage of 9.2, I guess, there was no concept of activity guides in the past, but now they have come up with something called activity guides, and the process is much more easier, and the employees can go into the self-service, and it's basically a step-by-step process that they can participate in any of these live events, or for that matter, it can be a new hire event or open enrollment event as well, which we will look at that in a bit right now. All right. Any questions so far on the the offerings of benefits administration system on the PeopleSoft side?
Nope.
All right. With that, I am moving on to the next slide here, which basically outlines the process, how the Ben admin gets the data from the HR, meaning how it basically processes the eligibility and what is the step-by-step process until we enroll the employee into benefits when something happens on the job data. Okay, so right now, as of today, you have HR transactions, which is basically, let's say it is a job data, right? So HR transactions are keyed in, and then event is triggered. So there is something called BAS activity on the benefits administration side, Ben admin side, which is basically holding all the transactions that are keyed in into this particular HR transaction. So meaning anything that happens in the job data, whether it is a new hire, whether it is some pay rate change, or maybe a termination, any type of change that happens on the employee's job data, it actually triggers an event onto the Ben admin side. What that means to us is that is telling the Ben admin system that, okay, this person had a change, some change. It could be eligibility change, or it may not be an eligibility change, but it is basically telling the Ben admin system that something has changed. Please process this employee and see if there is an eligibility change on that particular employee, right? So for all the job data transactions that we do, there is a row inserted into a BAS activity table. And then from there, when we run the benefits administration process, which is a COBOL process, when the process runs, it basically picks up those rows, those employees, and it starts processing their eligibility. Okay, so the first step is determining the population. So the population determination is basically coming from any events that are triggered here. There is another population. I will talk about that when I come here. Okay, so for now, let's think about any transactions that are keyed in are going to be processed by Ben admin. When the very first step is, identifying the population, and then it starts analyzing the eligibility of those employees. If it is a new hire, it is going to analyze and see which benefit program or which benefit plan options the person is eligible for. And then it assigns that benefits program, and it will prepare the options for the employee. What that means is, there is an employee who may be eligible for only medical, dental, vision, but not eligible for life insurance. I'm just giving you an example. So if that is the case, when the Ben admin runs, it basically only lets the employee see medical plan options or medical, dental, vision options, but it is not going to show up life insurance options, though they are within the same benefit program, because eligibility rules are set up in such a way that this person, based on their job data, are not eligible for those plans. Okay, so the option preparation will be done, and that is when the employee will be able to see the event in their self-service. Okay, so right now maybe you are generating the enrollment forms, or maybe you have a regular PDF file or something like that you are sending to the employees, on which the employees may be returning the enrollments that they want to enroll in. So so when the enrollment forms are back, or when the employee logs into the self-service and makes the enrollment, that is what we call data entry. Okay, if the employee is sending the enrollment forms, one of the admin person in our team is going to key in the transactions, like the way that you are doing it right now. You are keying in the transactions, the enrollments into the base benefit tables. If it is a health plan, then you are going into that enrolling benefits and health benefits, etc. You are making the enrollments. In the future, you will be enrolling that person in the benefits in a different way. Where there is an event created, you go into that particular event. There is something called election entry page. So you will be entering all the elections into one page, and you will finalize the event. That is how you do if there is a need for you to do it manually. If not, pretty much employees go online 99% of the times, and they make the enrollment themselves and submit the elections. Okay, so when the data entry is completed, once the employee submits elections, when we run the benefits administration system process next time, it basically validates the data and enrolls the employee into the benefits that they wanted to. Okay, and then we run the confirmation statements, which basically are going to be available for the employees in self-service as well. But if you choose to send the confirmation statements to their, the hard copies, you can do that as well. Okay, so when I was talking about the employee determination, the eligible population that is supposed to be captured by the Ben admin, it basically looks at two types of population. One, any changes that are triggered from the job data, and anything that was any elections that are submitted by the employee. Okay, so at this time, at this stage, the event is submitted and all the elections are entered. So when you schedule this process to run overnight, what it does is it picks up any transactions that are triggered from the job data, and also any elections that are submitted by the employee from the self-service side. Okay, so that is how the employee go through this cycle, and we basically enroll the employee into the benefits using benefits administration system. Any questions on that?
No.
Wow, I'm doing a great job here. All right. So with that, I am moving on to demonstrating a new hire event here, and then we will get into the live event. I'm going to spend a little bit more time here on the new hire, because pretty much the live event and the open enrollment event are going to follow the same process with a little bit of a different approach here. So I will spend more time on the new hire event, and then we'll go through live events and open enrollment or any other changes little bit faster pace. Okay, all right. Let me know if you are able to see my PeopleSoft login page here.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. All right. So I was talking about how the transactions are keyed in into the PeopleSoft system on the job data side, and then how it triggers an event on the Ben admin side, right? I am logging in as a benefits administrator here. And then I am going into that BAS activity page. I just would like to show you how it looks like, because you already know how the PeopleSoft looks. So any transaction that happened in the job data is going to be displaying here. For example, if you look at this is a hire event. This is a termination. There are a number of hire events, and there is an employee who had a pay rate change. So likewise, there are about 44 changes that have happened. So when I run Ben admin, it basically is going to clear everything from here and processes their eligibility and prepare the options for the employees to make elections. Okay, So here I'm going to process this particular employee. I'm going to only process this employee using on-demand page, which is basically going to help you in the future when you implement a benefits administration system. As a benefits administrator, you will be dealing with this page, quite a few times a day. Anything that you want to make, anything that you would like to do on employees' elections, basically you will be coming here and processing the employees' benefits. All right. I'm just processing this event. This is a hire event, and if you look at this, the hire event has been processed by benefits administration, and the employee options have been prepared. Okay, if you go show plans here, it shows which benefit program this person became eligible for. And this shows all the benefit plans that this person is eligible for. Don't worry about any other plans that you're seeing here, like 40, 41, etc., because this is a demo system, and they are set up with so many plans that not many clients use. Okay, so the event is prepared. So basically what happened is now we processed the benefits administration system for this particular employee, and it prepared the options for this employee. So let's go ahead and log in as this employee and see how the self-service pages looks and how the employee is going to make elections. Let me change my employee ID so that I can log in as that person. All right. So I'm going back here. I'm going to log in as this employee now. I'm going into employee self-service. All right. So these are the tiles that the employees sees online based on their security. So there is a benefits tile which the employees would have access to. So if you look at this, right, when the employee logs into self-service and click on the benefits tile, this is the information they see. So the first thing that they see is benefit summary, which is going to give them what is the benefit summary as of that date. Okay, no benefit summary information is available at this time because this person is a new hire employee, and he or she does not have any benefits just yet. Okay, and you can see the employees, the benefits administration contact information, just in case if the employee have any questions, they can contact them through this email address, or if you would like to display a phone number, you could display a phone number as well. Okay. All right. So the live events page basically lets employees trigger a live event using the self-service. So they don't need to call us. They don't need to send any paperwork to benefits administrator. All that they have to do is go into self-service, and they can say, I got married, I had a baby, I got divorced, or I adopted a child, etc., etc. And they can create an event from here, and they can finish processing the event, enrolling or de-enrolling the employees or the dependents from here. Okay, I will come to this again when I have to demonstrate a live event. Okay, I'm moving on to the dependent beneficiary info. This is basically gives us the information about the dependents and the beneficiaries that an employee has. I will come back to this page once I enroll this employee into benefits, which is going to make more sense to us, with the data that we can see. Now, the benefits enrollment page, right? So this is the page where the employees have to go, and it displays any enrollment that employee is pending. Meaning, right now, this employee's new hire event is available for them to make elections. Right? You can see the new hire event, and the event date is 10/1, and you can click on start and start processing. Start the elections. Before that, I would like to mention one more thing. Any text that you see here or throughout this employee self-service is totally configurable. You can change the text as you would like to. Okay, so if this doesn't make sense to you, or if you would like to say KCBPU here somewhere, we can always update this text. This is completely configuration. This is not a code change as such. Okay. So with that, I'm going ahead and clicking on start. This is the page. This is a landing page the employees are going to see. If you look at this, these are the options that the bin admin has prepared for the employee. Okay, you can see all the benefits that are available for the employees to make changes. And the enrollment summary section here, it shows basically what is the pay period cost and what is the full cost of the benefits, meaning this full cost is going to display employee and employer cost. This is basically coming from the base benefit rate structure. Okay, and this keeps on changing as the employee goes through the enrollment and elects their benefits. I'll show you that in a bit. Okay, so don't worry about this unless KCBPU has some credit structure, meaning if the employee enrolls in certain benefits, there are some clients they used to give employees certain credits, but I don't see that happening quite often these days. Okay. Any questions so far? Anyone?
Nope, looks good.
Awesome, awesome. So let me go ahead and make some medical enrollments here. So if you look at this, again, all this text can be changed through the configurations. These are the medical plans that this person is eligible for. I'm going to add a dependent through add a dependent page here. So that's that, and relationship to the employee is spouse. All right, I'm not going to enter too much of information. So there is, yeah. So I have entered the dependent, and if you look at it, right, so this was not available earlier. So now it is showing up because we have added the dependent. So if you look at this, this is showing $61, cost, and 75 and 62. As soon as I select this one, and if I select the dependent, the rates are going to change. What that means is the system is dynamically changing the rates based on how many number of dependents that you are choosing. Behind the scenes, what it does is it basically assigns the coverage code. I think you already know what coverage code is because you're already using the PeopleSoft. So it dynamically assigns the coverage code based on what dependents that you are enrolling and changes the rate automatically and displays the a different rate to the employee. Okay, and let's select the enhanced medical plan here, and this is asking for the primary ID, and we can completely hide this section, not if you do not want to show this to employee. Okay. Just I'm entering this information because this is a mandatory field here. This is not hidden yet. So I'm just trying to enter that information to avoid any errors. And I'm going to click on done. Questions?
Raghu, yeah, this is Diane. I noticed over to the right there were some resource links. I was just looking for how the new employee would understand what the difference was between basic, enhanced, and the HMO. How would they know which one to choose other than just the premium of it? How would they know what their benefits actually were?
You mean what is a deductible and what is a copay, etc.?
Right. What procedures are covered or not covered, all of that kind of information.
Correct. So if you would like to give them a link to a PDF file, you can always display a link over here. That is what it is. This means actually, you can put it out here, or there is a section where you can update all the information on the benefit plan definition, which is also going to help us. We can display it wherever you would like to display that information. But the clients that I worked with so far, they always had a PDF, which is called summary plan document. You know that, right? So that will be displayed in the resources so that if the employee would like to look at that, they can always go take a look at it.
Okay, and the option to do it as part of the benefit plan, that's available also in the base bin, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I am submitting this election for medical, and then I am moving on to the dental, which is going to follow the same process. If I want to elect a dependent, I'm electing the dependent on behalf of the employee. I'm going for the enhanced plan, and I'm just clicking on done. So vision is going to follow the same thing. I'm not going to focus too much on that. If you look at the life insurance, see, there will be only one option for basic life insurance, right? So why are we opening this up in the first place? We can actually default the employee into a positive plan, even though employee does not make any elections for the basic life. That is configurable. But the only reason why we are opening this up is so that the employee can assign their beneficiaries. Okay, so the employee can click on that and they can come over here. They can select if it is flat amount or percent and enter that amount over here. Okay, so if you do not want to show, or sorry, if you do not want this to be editable field for the employee, editable tile for the employee, that is also configurable. We can make that happen. Okay, I'm going to the supplemental life. See, if you look at this, I was talking about the evidence of insurability, and all those rules can be automated, right? If you look at this, this is showing proof required. This is not required. If the employee elects this plan, they are not required to provide proof of insurance, right? But if the employee elects 2 times, then they are required to do this. So this is all coming from the configuration. So we have configured the system in such a way that if it is a new hire event, and if the employee is electing 2 times of their salary, then we don't want the employee to choose this plan without the proof of insurance. You know, all those rules are configurable, based on the event class. It could be different for open enrollment. It could be different for a new hire event. It could be different based on if the employee had an enrollment before, or maybe he waived it in the beginning. You know, all those things can be configured. Okay, I am selecting the one-time life here, and I am electing 100%. And one more thing here, if you do not want the employees to associate any beneficiaries to these plans, like supplemental life insurance plans, because they already have elected beneficiaries on the basic life. See, I have had worked on with a couple of clients where they said, we are already capturing the beneficiary data on the basic life insurance, and we don't want to do that multiple times. Supplemental life is going to have the same beneficiaries which are associated with the basic life. So the entire section can be disabled, meaning the employee is not going to see this section at all. This designate your beneficiaries on the supplemental life can be disabled completely. Okay, so I just elected that. So AD&D, dependent AD&D and dependent life, all of them are going to be the same process. And short-term disability, long-term disability, I'm just going to elect something for the short-term disability. Pretty much most of the times they will be straightforward, short-term and long-term disability. Even if there is some complexity, we can definitely configure that one as well. And the flexible spending accounts. So there are flexible spending plans here. If the employee would like to elect, it is going to display what is the minimum and maximum that they can enroll. So I'm just going to enroll $1,000. That's it. So one more thing I would like to mention here, all these tiles, right? So they are in particular order here, medical, dental, vision, and the life insurance. Basically, these are all 1x plans, 2x plans, followed by 3x plans and 4x and then 6x. But these can be, if you would like to display flexible spending account plans right after medical plan. That can be done as well, because most of the times, I have received requests from the clients where they say, if the employee is electing high deductible health plan in the medical, then we want to display the HSA right by the medical plan so that they can go ahead and enroll in the HSA plan. So what I'm trying to say here is this is all configurable in whichever the order that you are trying to display these tiles, you can do that. All right. So any questions on this before I submit this election?
This is Andrea. I do have a question. Would we be able to have a wizard that will walk them through each event, even though they may not want a particular benefit, just so that we at least know that they hit all of the benefits and they at least looked at each of those benefits?
You mean you're enforcing, you want to enforce the employees to look through each and every tile?
Correct.
No, that is not configurable, because let's say if there is a plan that you want the employee to look at, okay? I have had, okay, I take that back. The answer is yes. You can always say the election required yes on the benefits program page, which is going to throw an error if the employee did not touch something over here.
Correct.
But when the election is required, they have to elect something after clicking on this page.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah. And there is another view here, if you noticed, this is basically going to display the plans in this fashion, like a grid. And they can review here and they can do the same changes, whatever they were doing over here.
Perfect.
Okay. And if you have noticed, the pay period cost has changed based on what elections that the person have done. So, again, here it is showing per pay period cost based on the plan that they have enrolled, and some of the pay period cost is shown here. And this is the total cost that is displayed here. Okay. And once that is done, the employee has to click on this submit enrollment, and which is going to submit the enrollment. You can read this, your benefit choices have been successfully submitted to the benefits department. Select view or review your election preview statement. So if you click on the view, that is going to display this form where employee can go through the information that they have just submitted. And they can see what is the cost that is associated with all the benefits that they have elected. And election summary, if they have added any dependents, any beneficiaries to any plan, everything is here. This can be printed, and if the employee wants to save this as a PDF, they can save it as a PDF by clicking on the print view button. Okay, and also this is available for the employees on the benefit statement. If you look at this 10.1, it is basically displaying the same preview page. So this will be available for the employee forever. Whenever the employee comes here, if he clicks on the benefit statement to see what I have chosen on the hire event, he can always come here, or she can always come here, and they can always see what the enrollment preview had. And if you go here, this is only showing you enrollment preview. But let's say I have confirmed this elections on the Ben admin side, and if I have run the confirmation statement process, this is going to have both enrollment and confirmation statements. And the employee can see the confirmation statement here as well. So this is going to let the employee compare both the preview, enrollment preview, and the confirmation statements if they have any question. So both can be seen right from the same page, confirmation and enrollment statements.
Raghu, this is Krishna. One
Hi,
thing, yeah, the enrollment is still open until the Ben admin runs, right? So
exactly.
The employee can still make changes until if we schedule it nightly, then they have the whole day to make come back and make changes, right?
Yes,
It used
that's
to
my
be that
next
way.
step actually. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the next step. So I'm going back to the benefits enrollment. So if you look at this page, right, earlier it was start. Now it says re-elect and the event status says submitted. So what that means is basically employee can still go and re-elect or change any benefits they have submitted. Okay. That is happening because we haven't finalized the event yet on the benefits administration side. So what we usually do is we schedule the benefits administration process to run overnight. So let's say in the real world, let's say if the employee went in and he participated or she participated in the new hire elections, submitted the elections, until the Ben admin runs overnight, this event will be available for the employee to make elections. Once the Ben admin is run and if this is finalized, enrolled, then this page will not have anything. This page is going to be blank. It says there is no event for you to make any elections. Okay, so this page is going to be blank.
However, if an employee is still within their new hire period and they said, hey, I submitted this, can I go back in and make changes? That's when I can go into the on-demand page and reopen that event for them to re-elect, if you will, correct?
Exactly. So that is when you will be using the on-demand page when you have to reprocess. Employees always have excuses saying, hey, I forgot to do something, I forgot to do this. That is when you have to go re-enter that event, and that makes the event status to re-enter, which is going to make that event available again for the employees to make elections.
Correct. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So any more questions on the new hire as far as the self-service is concerned?
This is Diane again. On the new hire, is that something we can open up before their first day? So we've hired them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it at the time.
Yes. They can. As soon as the job data is job data transaction is done, it triggers an event into the BAS activity, and from there, Ben admin picks it up overnight. It doesn't matter what is the event date, even if it is like 2 months in advance, it picks it up and processes, and the event will be available for the employees to make elections. Because most of the times, this will be part of their new hire paperwork and orientation, right? So the clients want that to be processed, and by the time employee joins, they want them to take care of everything and anything.
Correct.
But so it has to be on the employee and not on the candidate as part of eRecruit.
I did not understand. Can you please come again?
So it's only available once they've done the new hire and they are an employee in the system. We cannot display this for the applicant through the eRecruit module.
No. So as long as the employee or the applicant, you mentioned that distinction, right? So the applicant is not an employee yet. So they are going to have access to that self-service or anything only when the candidate becomes an employee.
And just to add there one item, if your question is more leaning towards if you have selected an applicant, you still have to hire them, but it can be a future dated hire, right? You can put the effective date in the future, but if the employee's user profile is created in advance, then if they can access the system, then this functionality would be available. So one of the recent clients where we implemented do hire people 1 to 2 weeks in advance, and they also create their Active Directory accounts in advance, all getting ready for them to do the sort of a pre-boarding activities before they start their work on day one. So this benefit enrollment can be made available as part of that activities. As long as you have an employee ID and a user profile for them to get into the system, they should be able to do this activity.
Then when we do the onboarding through the candidate gateway, that's when we can enable this piece.
Yes.
Okay, I just know there were enhancements coming out with the recruiting piece to allow us to do some of the like training and stuff, I thought, ahead of time. So I didn't know if this played with that part of it.
Yeah, once we turn on the Ben admin, then it will show up on the onboarding. The onboarding template will go into the candidate gateway for them to finish up when they're hired. So.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Can I go ahead?
Sure.
Sure. Thanks, Krishna. So now employee has submitted their elections, right? Let's log in as the admin now and see how this is looking. All right. So the status changed to entered. Earlier it was at prepared status, the hire event. It says when the elections were submitted, and the employee made 6 elections out of 21 options that they got, right? All that we do is running Ben admin again, just by clicking this validate and finalize. So process completed successfully, and the status has changed to finalize enrolled. So at this stage, that event is not available for the employee to make any elections. Okay. And if you go ahead and look at this employee in the base benefits, you can see employee enrolled in KU Med and dental vision plans. Vision, we did not elect anything. If you noticed, it actually has waived based on the rules that we have set up. Okay, you have something called default rules, which basically tells the system that if the employee did not touch any of the plans, what are we supposed to do with that? For example, basic life insurance, if the employee did not do anything, what do you want to do? You want to enroll the employee in 2 times of life insurance, even though they did not touch it. So all those rules can be set up. If we go here, you can see 10/1/2020, employee has basic life, and we have elected 1X here, and 25 is defaulted. If you notice, 24 is waived, 25 is waived as well. So just like that, disability, we have elected this plan, so it is defaulted, and 31 is defaulted to waive, and employees enrolled in the plan that they wanted. You want to see the $1,000 selected for FSA plan. Okay. All right. So any more questions on that, please?
That looks good.
Okay, very good. So with that, let me see what my next thing is. Okay, let's look at a live event. Let's use the same employee. I am logging in as an employee again because I am using the same employee because I wanted to show you something as well. Going into benefits. So if you look at this, right, earlier when we logged in as this employee, we did not have anything in the benefit summary page. So when the employee logs in, this is what they see. This is the benefit summary of the employee. So these are the plans that they have enrolled as of 10/29/2020. They can see all the information over here. And if you see actions, it is only review because they cannot make any changes. It can only be, seen from here. Okay. And dependent beneficiary info, there is only one dependent here. And if they would like to add more, they can do it. But we will restrict that because when it comes to the life events, that is when they can enroll or de-enroll the dependents if it is a divorce event or something like that. Okay, so that's the difference. With that, I'm going into the life events. So these are the 4 delivered life events delivered by PeopleSoft. And if you notice, there is a marriage event, a birth event, I had a baby, I adopted or gained legal custody, which is an adoption event, and a legal divorce event. So these are the delivered, but we can add custom events to this. If you have any other events that you would like to add, we can definitely go ahead and create custom events here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a baby here. So this is going to launch something called activity guide, which is basically a step-by-step process that is going to let the employee process through a life event. So this activity guide structure is used for both life events and the open enrollment events. You have welcome birth event and what is the birth date that you need to enter. You need to upload a document here, a birth certificate or marriage certificate or a divorce decree, adoption certificate, anything that you want the employees to upload, they have to be uploading it here. And they can see the benefit summary. See, there are different steps that they can go through. Okay, so let's kick off the birth event here. I'm submitting the date of birth as 10/29. So that submission is successful. So this is the page, this is the step which is basically asking the employee to upload a document. So this activity guide is flexible enough. You can actually remove any steps that you don't want the employees to see. If you don't want the employees to upload any document, you can actually remove this step. But pretty much most of the clients that I have worked with, they always wanted this to be there. So I'm just keeping it there. I'm just attaching something here that is done. So the birth certificate is submitted. You can see that here. This is the employee and they have submitted the birth event. Okay, all right, and then the next. So this is the benefit summary of this particular employee, the benefit summary, whatever the employee has as of today. So it is basically displaying all the benefits this person has as of that day. This is going to help the employee to see what they currently have and plan their enrollment changes for the future. Okay. Again, same thing, dependent beneficiary coverage information here. So this spouse is enrolled in medical, dental, and beneficiary in life insurance and supplemental life insurance plans. Only have one dependent. So we are adding a newborn baby here. So I'm clicking on that. Let's add a baby there. All right. So all these steps are, pretty much self-explanatory for the employees. So they can just, walk through them and enter any information they would like to. And these are not all mandatory steps. They can actually just review and move forward as well. As I mentioned before, these steps can be removed from here. If you do not want the employees to see any of these steps, we can always configure it to remove it from here. So for example, if you look at the pay and compensation information, pretty much all the clients that I had worked with, They did not want this pay and compensation information here, direct deposit information to be added over here. The only reason why they have it over here is because, let's say if this is a marriage event, right? They want if they want to add a new direct deposit information, because if they would like to add spouse's bank account, they can do that over here. And pay and compensation, they can actually their tax status could be changing, right? If it is a marriage event or it is a birth event, maybe their W-4 is changing. So they can update all that information over here, the tax withholding and the direct deposit information. And finally, they go to the benefit enrollment, where they click on the start my enrollment, and they can go ahead and add the baby. So when they clicked on the baby, it actually changed the total cost. It was $148, but now it has changed to $310, if you notice. So after this, it is pretty much the same process again. This is what I was mentioning, that I'm not going to go through each one of them again, unless you have any questions on that.
No, looks good.
Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to submit the enrollment here, and the enrollment is submitted. And if the employee go to the next step, where if you notice, we have 10-1, the new hire enrollment preview, and we have 10-29, the birth event preview. Okay, we haven't run the confirmation, that's why it is not showing up here. But if we had run the confirmation statement process, it would have displayed another PDF over here. All right, so that's the summary. The employees can see what are the steps that they have touched and what changed, what they haven't touched, they just visited, etc. All the information is displayed here. Any questions on the live events? If PeopleSoft is enabled to do something that you haven't specific at your place.
Oh, looks good.
Okay, awesome. All right, with that, I will be going into the open enrollment event. I think we have only 20 minutes here. I'll just quickly go through that. I already have configured the open enrollment event here and created the event already. So I'm just going to go into the self-service of this particular employee and will show you how it looks. Okay, so this employee, Louis Douglas, I logged in as employee self-service, and when I come here, there is a separate tile for open enrollment, right? If you go into the benefit and details, and if you want to go into the benefit enrollment, there also you can see the open enrollment event, but PeopleSoft delivers another tile here, which is basically available for the employees to see it from here. And it says the open enrollment is already started and it is open until 12/31/2020, because I set up the system in such a way. Okay, and it says you still have 63 days to make the enrollments. Okay, and if you noticed, I don't know if you're able to see this Oracle image here, that is the logo of our company. You can have KCBPU logo displayed here. Okay, so I'm clicking on the open enrollment, which is again is going to launch an open enrollment activity guide for us. And you can display a video if you would like to instruct your employees with a video how to participate in open enrollment. This is the place where you can make a video and we can display the video over here. Okay. And again, it is basically reviewing and updating any information that the employee would want to, dependent beneficiary info, and benefit summary, benefit enrollment. So again, we are here. This is the open enrollment benefit elections page where the employee can go into these events and make changes as they would like to. So this basically, I'm just going through this very fast because it's the same thing that whatever we talked about earlier. Okay, so that's pretty much how the employees participates in open enrollment through activity guides.
Raghu, this is Diane. Through the open enrollment, does it show you what you currently have?
Yes. So if you look at this, medical, right, you can see the current plan here, medical HMO plan 2, and the new plan is basic out of network medical because I changed it just now.
Okay, so I thought it looked like it started with a check already there. I just wanted to make sure that's what was happening.
No. If you look at the dental, right, the current plan is waived, the new plan is also waived because if the employee is not touching this plan, that is what it is going to be going forward as well. Right?
Okay.
So, yeah. Let me see if the person is enrolled in, yeah, unfortunately, they don't have flexible spending account. I wanted to show you the current plan is elect and something, and the new plan is going to be waived if they did not touch it. So, yeah. So it basically shows them this is your current plan and this is your new plan. If they changed it, if they did not change it, it displays something based on their default plan. Okay. Any more questions? No? Okay. So if you notice here, we have a confirmation statement. So, I mean, this is a sample one. If you want me to run confirmation statements process, this is how it is going to display the confirmation statements for the employees. So in our world, this will have two statements, one confirmation statement, one enrollment preview statement for each event. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the open enrollment. Any questions so far on the enrollment side or how the events will be processed by the Ben admin?
Nope, this looks the same that I've seen it.
Okay, all right. So couple more things, right? When we, I think in the interest of time, I'm not going to demonstrate unless you want me to the termination event, but it is pretty simple. Yeah, let's go ahead. I think it's going to take about 3-4 minutes. So let me demonstrate that. So I'm going into one of the employees data, job data. I'm going to terminate that person and show you how we can process the termination event in the real world. So this person is, yep. So I'm going to terminate this employee as of today. I'm going to select termination as the action. Okay, and there is some business process that is triggering, and looks like we don't have that. Okay, saving the page. Looks like it is saved. Let's see. So this is where it has to show up, right? Okay, if you notice that KU007, the termination event is triggered, right? So I am going into that employee now. I'm going to process that employee's termination event, right? So yeah, there is some open enrollment event for this guy. Give me 1 second here while I update this info. All right. So this is how the termination will be processed in the real world. There is a termination event triggered, and I'm clicking on that schedule prepare activity, which means I processed benadmin to process this termination event. And it went to prepare status, but it did not prepare any options because a terminated employee will not be able to eligible for anything. Okay, so the benadmin is going to run again, and it will finalize the employee's event, which is going to terminate the employee's benefits automatically. So I did three things here, right? I ran benadmin, I checked this checkbox here, and I ran benadmin one more time. So once we implement the PeopleSoft benefits administration system, this can be automated completely, which means when a termination event happens, you don't have to involve the benefits administrators to process and terminate the employee's benefits. So since we are going to schedule this process to run overnight, that is going to take care of any terminations, any retirees, any of these things that needs to terminate when the employee is not eligible for the benefits. So benefits administration team doesn't need to look at them. It happens automatically overnight. Okay, so that's the termination event. And when it comes to miscellaneous events, so you have a new hire event, which is basically a qualifying event. Employee has to go in and submit their elections if they would like to. Let's say there is an employee who is moving from part-time to full-time. That makes them eligible for some set of benefits. So that is a qualifying event again. But there will be number of other changes that you will be doing. For example, a pay rate increase, maybe a department change, maybe a company change if there is, right? All these changes are not going to trigger any eligibility change on the benefit side. So in that case, what benadmin does is based on the rules that we are going to set up, it is going to validate their eligibility. And if you configure the system to say, okay, if there is no eligibility change, don't offer anything to the employee. So what it does is it is going to process those events from the batch activity, but it is not going to prepare any options for the employee because there is no eligibility change. So pretty much 80 to 90% of the changes that comes through from the job data are not going to be opening up benefits for the employees unless there is an eligibility change. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that we have here? So we talked about the data changes, termination event, all these events. And yeah, these are the steps that we have gone through. Do you want me to run the confirmation statements just to see them?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is the process, online confirmation. This is just a process you have to go and. So you need to give the schedule ID. The schedule ID that I was dealing with is KUEM. So you just need to enter that KUEM as the event maintenance ID. Statement process selection. So if you want the confirmation statements to be available online only, the page where we were checking earlier, that is what you check. If you want that to be an online and if you want that to be a PDF as well, then online and print. And if you only want to print, then you will be selecting this. Okay. And you are basically selecting a specified language, English or recipient's language. Basically, when you check that, it is coming from the employee's personal data. Okay. So I'm clicking online only, and which events you would like to include into this. So I'm saying any event that is finalized enrolled. I'm not including any election error status. So this is going to be only selecting any finalized enrolled events from last runtime. So if I had run this confirmation statement process last week, and if I'm running it today, it is going to look at any employees with finalized enrolled event that was finalized enrolled within the last 1 week. Okay. And you can select employees that you would like to run, or you can include all the employees if you would like to run it. That's all. You just run the process, and the confirmation statements will be available for the employees to see them online. That's pretty much on the bin admin side. Yeah. With that, unless you have any questions, I am handing this over to Logesh for his last slide.
No
Thank you,
questions?
Raghu. It was very detailed. Andrea and team, do you have any questions to Raghu on anything that you have seen so far?
I think, Andrea, you want to check about the EDI files to the insurance?
Yeah, I kind of know how that works, but I think it'd be good to just kind of show the elections that were made, how it writes to the health pages, but also that it can be sent to the carriers as well to show those elections.
Okay, so the EDI, there are a couple of steps involved in that. There is something called a benefit snapshot process that we need to run, which is basically going to get all the enrollment data from the base benefit tables. And from there, we need to run our interface process to generate the output file in the 834 EDI format. Let's see if I can run that. Would all be okay if we go like 5 minutes beyond the time?
I'm good. I can.
Okay. Just trying to see.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable. If anybody has to drop, they can.
Right.
Okay. So there are these configurations here where we need to set up this. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, there is no trading partner set up here. So we need to set them up. I can do that real quick. Before that, I need to check something. Bear with me for a couple of minutes here.
I don't know if you can, this is Diane again, I don't know if you can answer while working through that. The EDI files, is that kind of a national standard, or does it matter who your insurance carriers are?
Can I?
Like if you had Aetna versus Blue Cross that you're trying to send the insurance information, do they have different file types and PeopleSoft works with both, or is there just a single standard that all insurance companies use?
It is a single standard file, which is called 834 EDI format, 5010, I guess, right now. But there are a couple of changes. Each vendor will be asking the information to be sent in. Pretty much the file format is going to stay intact, but what they basically say is, okay, we want this code in this particular field. So those are the changes that we would have to make on those interfaces.
Okay, so it would require some customization.
Exactly. Some changes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So just to add there to Raghu's comment, essentially, the structure of the file doesn't change. The structure would adopt to the national standard, the 834 format. The default values within that structure might vary. Most of it is configuration driven. That's set up part of the bin admin configuration, while some items are defaulted in the file layout in the PeopleSoft application that may need to change, things like that. But for the most part, the structure remains intact and it's just the values in the file that would change.
Thank you.
No worries.
All right, I'm trying to create this here. The mapping table is fine. Enrollment snapshot. Okay. So this is a process that we run. What it does is it is going to pull all the information from the base benefit tables and load them into something called snapshot tables. Okay. I think this is right now also it is available for you to do it in the base benefit side. I don't remember the plan that I was updating, but let's see. All right, bear with me there. Yeah. ETI partner ID. Yeah, this needs multiple setups actually. I don't know if we will be able to pull something there, but let's see.
Yeah, I think if the file generation requires some additional setup, we can always set up additional time later.
Yeah,
for some data.
that's fine. We know how it works, but I thought India had any questions with that. Don't worry about it now.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. All right.
The only question I had was, Raghu, was that benefit snapshot only works with the Ben admin?
No, actually it works with base benefits as well, but
base benefits,
yeah, but there is something called COBRA administration process that you may want to run, which actually is complemented by benefits administration system. So in a way it is depending on benefits administration system for that COBRA administration thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But otherwise, it is a straightforward format, and you will be running that benefit snapshot process, which is going to get information from multiple places. And from there, you run that EDI file based on which vendor that you are trying to send the information to, and it generates that file.
Okay. All right, so with that, we only have a couple of minutes. I don't want to take up too much time in here. So one other item we want to add, since you have gone through an implementation code and the demo as well, and thinking about and planning for this implementation is, unlike many module implementations where you go through a full life cycle of development activities around requirements gathering, design, development, testing, and deployment. When it comes to modules like Ben admin, especially when you are using base benefits, the implementation approach can be very much streamlined. We use the term accelerators here because many of the aspects that goes through in the implementation project can be reused. And over the period, we have built all of these items that are pretty much ready to use, starting with what we would call as a requirement traceability matrix, a simple but a comprehensive requirements document that is commonly used by most of the customers. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel specifically for your project. So we go through the requirements, the configuration workbooks that's already pre-built for the delivered configurations that need to be set up for the bin admin module, the common customizations when it comes to the bin admin module, things like there are a couple of processes that we create to fully automate the bin admin batch processes, to update the run controls for the bin admin batch processes, things like that. Then those would be some of the items. Then when it comes to the testing, the functional test scenarios for the bin admin module, pretty much all the events that Raghu covered, what are the items to be tested, so you don't have to draft those test cases from the beginning. So all of these items are the things that we bring from our prior and recent implementations, which are pretty much can be ready to use for any new implementation project. So you don't have to go through and create everything from scratch. So bin admin is a module that can follow sort of a rapid implementation and can be done in a fairly short period of time compared to any full-fledged implementations that you may be thinking about. So just wanted to give you that as an overview. So it's a pretty straightforward process to plan and go through a bin admin implementation that way. With that, I also wanted to check with Raghu to see, do we need to discuss anything about the COBRA or benefits billing functionality in detail, Raghu? If maybe we're already over time, but we could look at an additional session to cover those topics.
If they are willing to, yeah, definitely. But benefits billing is something that would complement if the population is huge. For this type of population, probably they may only have 2 or 3 employees or maybe 10 employees on benefits billing.
So, Andrea, is there any questions you have around benefits billing or COBRA administration, things like that you want to cover?
No, I don't think those would be something I would want to deal with. I don't think it's as cumbersome as a process for right now. I feel like if we were bigger, I would probably say yes, but for right now, that wouldn't be of any concern. But definitely the bin admin process is definitely something that I feel like we could use, and it would kind of help streamline a lot of processes that are manual right now.
Absolutely, that makes sense.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I think with that covers all the topics we had in mind for the session, and it's right around that 90-minute mark. Anything else that you want to clarify? If not, we can wrap up the session.
No, not for me. Anybody else from BPU?
I'm good.
This is Lori. What's a typical implementation timeline? Just rough.
Okay, that's a very good question. I think depending upon the size of the organization, things vary, and I would say the one that we are just started last week for an organization, I would say slightly bigger than your size, is around 5 to 6 months, but I would say it's maybe starts with anywhere with 4 to 5 months onwards and goes upwards depending upon the organization size and complexity. And based on the information we gathered from you, it's really a small operation compared to a standard PeopleSoft implementation. So I would be thinking it would be towards the lower end, around 5 months would be the approximate timeline. Raghu, how about any thoughts on that?
I think around 4 months is what we have given them.
Yeah. 4 to 5 months. I think we can do a detailed assessment to make more specific, but based on the conversations we have earlier, around 4 to 5 months would be the
ideal
timeline for the implementation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no worries. All right. Okay, that's all we have. Thank you very much for all of your time. And
Thank you guys for the information and very detailed. This is the way I definitely remember it. So thank you so much for going through it and showing us how everything can work.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Raghu. Thank you.
thanks,
Thanks,
Alan.
everyone.
Thanks for setting it up.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Logesh, Alan, Raghu, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks, Maris. Bye.